Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Q&A podcast here with your main man, Jason Avant, and I'm with my main man, Quintin Mikell. Quintin, say what's up to the people.
What's up? What's up, everybody? We back, baby. Excited for another installment.
Ready to go.
and just happy, man.
We're happy. We're 4-0. The Birds are 4-0. The last time we did it, we went to the Super Bowl. You got to get on the hype train, Q. Get on the hype train.
Let's go.
I don't know about getting all the way on the hype train. There's some things that we can discuss this week, but overall, excited about the placement. It's happy. It's a happy time when the Eagles are 4-0. The people in Philadelphia turn into Salt Lake City people. Right? It turns into Utah where people are speaking to you, saying hi. Turns into Texas, Dallas or somewhere down south Alabama.
Holding the door open for you.
Yeah, right? In Philadelphia, hey, go Birds, right? People start getting nice, driving a little calmer,
Good thing, man.
All right, before we get right into the show, let's do a little housekeeping. We want to say thank you guys for tuning into the Q&A podcast. Thank you for tuning into all of our shows on the Inside the Birds platform. Make sure that you're following us on our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Also, send emails to insidethebirds@gmail.com. Again, insidethebirds@gmail.com. Make sure you check out the pregame show with Adam Kaplan, Jeff Mosher, Greg Cosell, and myself. Also, the postgame show, Adam Kaplan, Jeff Mosher, and Trey Thomas. And lastly, make sure that you're subscribing to the Patreon channel. We're going to talk about that a little bit later with Inside the Birds. We'll talk about that as it comes up. Let's get right into the week. First, let's do this. Bad weather games, Q. Your bad weather games that you've had, is there any impact that it has on a player? Let's talk about that because the game was sloppy from both teams. It was so sloppy that I was embarrassed. Even though there's bad weather, as a receiver, you can't put that many balls on the ground. Like you get an excuse for 1 or 2. Christian Kirk 5 and 6. You like, gosh, dog, man.
Yeah.
Right. So talk about bad weather games.
Man, I hate them. I absolutely can't stand. I hate them. So the snow isn't as bad, but rain and the mud, they're absolutely terrible. And listen, I went to high school in Oregon, and so I'm used to playing in the rain, and I hate it. I've never gotten used to it. And I mean, you think about it, as a DB, you're already at a disadvantage. You don't know the route that you're going to face. You don't know what the offense is going to do. So you're running backwards full speed. You got to, plant and break and make a decision at the split of a dime. And so it's like the amount of time that it takes you to get used to the weather and the footwork and breaking. It's just terrible. I hated it. I couldn't stand it. You're cold. You're miserable. If by chance you do get a football thrown to you as a DB, the chances of you catching it are slim because you already ain't used to catching the ball. Now it's wet and it's shining and all that stuff. So yeah. I hate it. I hated playing in the rain. Absolutely hate it.
So I got 2 things with it, right? In high school, I loved playing in the rain because it was the football that the weather, the rain soaked into the ball. So it didn't matter if it rained or not. You still could catch it because it would like soak in and the ball wasn't that slick in high school. When you get to college, the football, it doesn't soak the same. It just makes it like it makes it ice, basically. You're trying to catch ice. It slips through everything. And so catching the ball in the rain is extremely hard in the pros, extremely hard. And then you add on the gloves to it or with no gloves, it don't matter. It's just extremely hard to catch the ball. There's techniques that we use, and we talked about it on Inside the Birds pregame. On the inside, excuse me for 1 second, you guys. Excuse me for 1 second. On Inside the Birds pregame, we talked about how you catch the ball here, right? You need a little space in order for the ball to fit through. When it's raining, you have to bring your hands together like this and then you have to strengthen everything in your forearm, everything in your hands, and like create this pocket where it can't go through, and it still may hit you in the face right here, right? So you got to like be really focus. Don't worry about yards at the catch or anything like that. And it was just a terrible game to watch as far as the receiver is concerned. But I give you a story. Listen, I was good at catching in the rain, and as best as you're going to get catching the rain.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew if it was raining, the game would be kind of on me when I was in, with the Eagles. And I would have guys, AJ, go in for me. Literally, the ball is coming to you. We practiced it for you the whole week. Hey, go in the game for me. Like, and I would just go out there like, dude, I'm not scared of the rain, whatever it is. But some dudes are like, I ain't messing with that. I ain't putting them drops on my resume.
For real, man. And so let me ask a question about that, because I always feel this way about the court. Do the quarterbacks change the way they throw it in the rain, or do they still just be? Because a lot of people probably don't know that the centers have a ball, and you got the ball boys to keep it dry. So by the time the quarterback gets it, it's pretty dry. By the time he launches that thing,
it's not dry, but it's not. They're trying their best to protect the football. Yes, yes and no. Like, you are. The answer is no. So Donovan's fastball won't be as fast because he can't grip it as strong, right?
Okay.
So it won't be with the same velocity most of the time because he can barely get a grip on it. So he can't throw it the way that he wants to if he had full grip. So usually the ball comes in a little bit slower, but it's still a tempo because it's still a pro player throwing the ball. But it can be anywhere in the rain. It can be high, it can flutter. It's never going to be a spiral, right? So it's just a challenge to catch. And you got to make sure that you still catch it with your hands. Even if you're trying to cradle it with your body, it has to hit your hands first. Otherwise, it hit that pad, boop, boop. Mm-hmm. And that's it. But yeah, that's the rain. Now, this is what I will say. Big Red, I used to hate Big Red in the rain because Big Red is going to call his first 15 no matter what, rain or not. I don't care. If we had 11 passes in the first 15 and that was the game plan, it could be a monsoon outside. We're going to run all 11 of those pass plays. And I'll be like, Coach Reed, it's raining. What are you doing? Like, no, he going to throw the ball. And then he going to yell at you like there's nothing outside. Like, dude, catch the ball.
Like, Coach, were you standing out there with me?
Dude, I remember going up to the Giants. We had the Giants game. I think Deshaun caught, maybe he had 150 yards or something in the punt return. It's the Giants. It was raining so hard for the pregame. You were there. You were on the same day. Mm-hmm. It was raining so hard for the pregame. I'm talking about a monsoon for the pregame. We were like, dude, where's the lightning so they can delay the game? Receivers dude, I don't want to get caught out here. There was so many drop balls and warm-ups. People was like, oh my gosh. Right. So the game starts and it's dry. We were like, oh, thank you, Lord. And then the first play of the game was a slop route, which is a slant option for me. And so I knew it the whole week because the first, the first 15 play, the first one is it's going to me. It's going to me. I'm like, dude, this is monsoon outside. The first play coming to me. I'm like, toughen up, Jason. Let's go. You got to psych yourself out. Like, man, I ain't scared of this rain. Tight fingers. But Coach Reed wouldn't adjust. And you saw Nick Sirianni came out with his first 15. Until he threw that pick. And when he threw that pick, he started to run the ball and kind of scrap the game plan. They began to get back into it. Both teams wanted to come out and pass the ball and run their first 15. Doug did it too and realized that this rain is not letting up and these guys are not catching the ball well. So I thought both of the coaches adjusted, but they started off wanting to run their regular offense. Which
offensive
is
guys, man.
Offensive guys, they don't think about the rain. 4-0, what do you think? 4-0, Q. We're 4-0. Are we a legit contender in the NFC? Who do we have to worry about? We're not halfway. We're fourth done with the season. It's 17 games, so we're almost fourth done, somewhere in the middle. But yeah, so where are we with a quarter of the season done?
Listen, they're well ahead of where I thought they would be.
Okay.
I think they're legit. Obviously barring, knock on wood, barring injuries, this team can go pretty far. And again, it's all been because of the play of Jalen Hurts. Now you've had other guys step up, you've had other guys come in and make plays and play well above their expectations. But this team goes as Jalen goes, and he's been playing lights out. Even when he wasn't perfect on Sunday, even when he made some mistakes, he found a way to win. And that's something that is a testament to him as a leader, it's a testament to him as a competitor. And, you know, it's showing more and more. And it's really cool to see, because it's almost like we're seeing like the birth of this leader, like we're seeing the birth and, you know, the emergence of this star right before our eyes. And it's been really cool to see. And I think this team is legit.
That's awesome. Here's the thing: when I get asked about this question, who else in the NFC do we have to say that are legit contenders? Right? Everybody looks beatable. You know that there's going to be 3 teams at least in the picture in the NFC, and I'll say those besides the Eagles, the 3 teams that are they're going to wake up. The Buccaneers are going to wake up. There's no way that Tom Brady, with a full healthy roster and chemistry and time, they always get better as the season goes on, right? So they're going to wake up. That defense is going to wake up. They're going to get guys back and all those things. They're going to wake up. The Rams are going to wake up, right? Once they get the chemistry with their receivers and a quarterback, and they get some offensive line stability, if they can ever get the offensive line stability, but they have the defense to wake up. So those 2 teams are going to wake up, and Aaron Rodgers will never die slow, right? Yeah. So he's never going to die slow. You got to make sure that we have a better record than Green Bay, because nobody wants to go to Green Bay and play a game. All right, with Aaron Rodgers there. So those 3 teams at least. Now, I'm not underestimating the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not, because they have a really good defense. I'm not trying to underestimate them, but they have some glaring deficiencies, right? Gallup is back in the lineup. That's going to help them out a bunch. But CeeDee Lamb is not the number 1 that everyone thinks he is. He's showing some ability to be covered. I think he needs to be a slot number 1, a guy that you play out of the slot like Edelman, that just targets him, that you target him a lot, but not necessarily an outside number 1. That's what I think they should do with him. But anyhow, those 3 teams that I said, with some others in the mix, but those 3 teams and us, who are we not better than all those teams? Can we beat all of those teams? If you take any of those teams, I think the Eagles can beat them. Right? Absolutely. If the Eagles play their best game and other team play their best game, I think the Eagles are a better team. So with that being said, we're definitely Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
You know?
And even teams that are they get kind of streaky, like the Cardinals, they're beatable. I would put we already beat them. I would put the Vikings. I would kind of put them in that, where they're kind of a streaky team. They can get hot at the right time, but we've already beaten them. So you're right, man. I think this is it, man. I mean, besides those 3 teams you mentioned, there's not much there. Well, I won't say there's not much there, but they're all beatable.
They're all beatable. All right, you guys, we're going to do something a little bit different, because this next segment, topic 2, is Eagles offense versus the Jags defense. The Eagles destroyed the Jaguars when it came to run blocking. The offensive line were able to get up to double teams. We were able to use some read option in order to throw off the defensive end and confuse him. Those are some ways that we were able to make the run game work. But our team was physically dominant up front. Hugh, what do you think about like our run defense, our run offense against the Jags defense? They were ranked number 1 in the league in stopping the run, but our offensive line, without Mailata got hurt. Jack Driscoll came in, and you didn't even recognize that Mailata was out of the game at times, which just talks about the depth of the O-line. Like, speak to it.
Yeah, I mean, and we said it before, man. Coach Stout, man, that he is amazing. What he's able to now. They definitely have some talent on that O line. They definitely have some boys that can go, but that talent doesn't always, trump everything. When you get a coach that can figure out the pieces, when someone goes down, that can figure out where to put people in, can figure out and coordinate the run game in a way that is effective, and also kind of molded around what your team has and what they are able to do. It's just phenomenal. And so to me, it's a testament. I know Miles shouted him out in his press conference, but Coach Stout has just done a phenomenal job with this offensive line. But on top of that, he's not out there. Those guys got to go out there and play. And they were just mauling. I mean, they were just getting after it, getting down the field, second level blocks, combo blocks all the way up. I mean, it was just a kind of a clinic, so to speak, from all different types of run schemes. And I mean, these guys are just, they've been showing it for years, though. They've been showing that in the run game that they can go. And now it's just been really cool just to see them being able to, after what they lost last year with Brandon Brooks and, how our quarterback is our team's kind of built more towards a run. It's been really cool to see a game like that where you are forced to run, where everyone in the stadium knows that you're going to run, and the defensive coordinator, everybody knows you're going to run the ball, and you still go out there and go out for 200 yards was pretty phenomenal for me. And that's a testament to Coach Stout and what he's able to do, but also these guys executing on the field.
They're definitely executing on the field. And there's a question that says, was it mainly Miles Sanders? Was it mainly O-line? I'm definitely going to say that it's a combination of both. But the O-line is creating so much movement. And also the run scheme is very, very confusing. I'm going to share my screen at this time, and I'm going to show you a few plays. And you guys follow my cursor. Let me see if I can pull this up. I'm going to try to share my screen. I believe I can. And I'm going to show a few plays. Okay, let's go here. Let's see if this works here. All right, let's go after this play. Can you guys hear this or no?
Yeah, we got you, buddy.
Can you hear it?
Yes, I can hear you.
No, can you hear this the screen? Oh, so here's this play right here. This first play. Let me move this to the other side. All right, so this first play here of this read. You see this guy here? This is Josh Allen right here. This guy is responsible to force this run, and Jalen Hurts is reading him, right? So if he goes up the field at all, he gives it to the running back. If he comes for him, he gives it to the running back. If he goes flat for the running back, he pulls it. All right. So look at what this guy does. He goes right for Jalen Hurts. Hits Jalen Hurts, right? Perfect job by Jalen Hurts. He gives him the ball. Now look at these guys. You got two double teams working right here. Up, they crash this guy down. Now, because of that, you didn't block him at all. Now you have an extra offensive lineman, and you already have one lineman up to a linebacker. Now this linebacker, Trey Sermon, has to make him miss one-on-one. And he does that, makes him miss one-on-one, right? This is all about confusion. It's all about, putting this guy in a bind. Backing him up there, putting this guy in the bind. Look at him. Goes right for Jalen Hurts. All right, listen to the next play. I'm going to pause it. Let's go. I'm going to pause it. Him right here, same defensive end. He goes right for the running back this time, right? These plays are confusing. He goes right to running back. Last time he goes to Jalen Hurts, goes running back. Jalen Hurts keeps it, right? Jalen Hurts gets a little bit freaky in the field, as he would call it, gets some yards. Right? The same player seeing the same thing, but now check this play out. They put Miles back in the game. Look at the same player now. What do I do? Do I go hard after Jalen Hurts, or do I go for Miles Sanders? I don't know what to do because this guy's in the bind the entire time. And now what the offensive line does, instead of double teaming up, they turn their bodies into the hole there and just wall a guy off and pull Jason Kelce. And at this time, Jason Kelce's up, blocking people, touchdown easy, because they confuse the end, gain an extra person in the run game by not blocking the defensive end. That read option is potent and dangerous because of the way we play football.
Absolutely.
Right? Like so those three plays kind of encapsulates how the offensive line. So you saw some double teams, you saw some pulls, but you also saw the element of Jalen Hurts, because Jalen Hurts causes you to make a decision on the backside. Am I going to go crash hard on the running back? If not, he's going to keep it, vice versa. And because you don't have to block a player, you gain an extra guy to get up to the second level.
That's it. And go ahead. I didn't want to cut you off.
No, go ahead. You're good.
So like watching that video, I just popped in my mind two things that I really, really appreciated, and you as a receiver can appreciate that. If you go back to those clips, it's so hard, and especially the first one, I can tell that they're in man coverage. It is so hard for a defensive back to be in man coverage when a receiver is running full speed into their route and then they turn and block you. Yeah. And so you're, as a DB, you're backpedaling. Like I said, it's wet, it's nasty out. You're backpedaling, you're thinking, okay, we're in the red zone, I got to backpedal and get with them. And all of a sudden, oh shoot, it's a run. So the way that those receivers were coming off the ball, making the DBs think that it's a pass down the field, and then all of a sudden it's a run, it makes their job easier, but it makes it so much harder on the defensive back. Yes. And so that right there, I truly appreciate that from those guys in the receiving corps, getting down the field and blocking. And then the other part I'll add to that too, for a defense, the toughest thing too, like you said, is making that defensive end, make a decision, but also it slows the defense down. It makes you play assignment football. That's why this offense is so potent. And if you have threats that can get down the field and throw and run the ball, it makes it so much harder because you have to play smart, disciplined football. It takes the superstars out of the game. It takes the guys that can take over a game on the defensive side of the ball. It takes them out of the game. And, I appreciate you bringing that out there and showing that clip, man.
All good. It's all good because, listen, they can overpower you. Landon Dickerson and Mailata and, Lane and these guys, they can overpower you, right? They can outsmart you, right? As we sing, they can confuse you. And then they can pull with the best of them. What weakness in the run game do they have? You can say, well, Jason Kelce's too small, and sometimes he gets, when it comes to passing. But when it comes to double teams, when it comes to one-on-ones, when it comes to pulling, when it comes on confusion, the scheme, this team is as complete of a running team as anybody in the league. And it's unbelievable what they can do. And you add Jalen Hurts to the mix, man. Yeah. You can, if they want to run the ball the entire game, it'll be tough for a team to just beat them. Yeah. If they wanted to just run it every single play, it'd be tough for a team to beat them. That's crazy. And which is nuts, right? Yeah. All right.
I like that, man.
Yeah. So, but Miles Sanders balls out, 27 carries, 134 yards, 2 touchdowns. 50 overall rushes for 210, 4 touchdowns all together. We ran the ball down their throat. And when you consider something else too, we also passed the ball for over 200 yards, right? We had a receiver with almost 100 yards. He would have had 100 yards. He dropped 1 or 2. Let me start calling people out.
That's a good day in the rain, man. Shoot.
That ain't bad in the rain. Now, do you think that Eagles should go with this as their bread and butter? Or you think they should continue to do what they're doing? Bread and butter, continue to do what they're doing. What do you think?
It's tough, man. And I hate, like I said, I hate to get too over the top and crazy with it. But it's like, what can they not do? I mean, they've showed in the 4 games we've seen, they've been attacked multiple different ways. I think this last game, I feel like the game plan by Coach Caldwell, who's a tremendous coach. He was here when I first got here, defensive coordinator for the Jags. Show pressure and then drop 8. I saw that a lot. And, they were able to, okay, you're going to drop 8. We're just going to run the ball on you all day. And so the way that this team is able to adjust on the fly, I think that right now, continue what we've been doing, continue the game plans, the way they've been going, the way they've been doing. And then the fact that they're able to adjust is what I'm most impressed about right now. Yeah. The fact that they're able to figure out what's going on and say, you know what, all right, we don't have to throw the ball 20 times again, 30, 40 times a game. We'll come out and run it all over you if we have to. So to me, I think you stay the course, do what you've been doing, prepare like you've been preparing, but just know that in your back pocket, if we have to adjust, we can adjust. If there's a game where they say, you know what, I'm going to come out and shut the run down, then we're going to go to our passing game. So, I mean, what can they not do right now?
If it's not broke, don't fix. I think you always want to continue to develop Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
He's developing at an alarming and high rate for the NFL and all of the opponents of the Eagles. He's developing. There's still the plays to be made. And there's a million things that the Eagles did right. A million things. The run game we talked about. There's one play that's grinding my gears by like 17 people. And I'm gonna explain this play because not to rain on anybody's parade at all, but to kind of give you guys insight on how many things went wrong on this play and how this play will come back again. This defense will come back again. And I'm going to share my screen one more time, you guys, and we'll go over this play. I'm going to let this run for a second. Okay, I'm going to let this run for a second. And this play is the interception by Jalen Hurts. Look at this here. We're going to start this out. There's a safety back here. Cisco is back here, number 5, the one who got the interception. There's 10 in this position. This is a cover 3 defense. This is not man-to-man. However, this inside guy is locked, okay? This inside guy is locked on him. It's a very, very unsound defense because there's no flat defender. And I want you to notice something. This guy is Zach Pascal. I love Zach Pascal and what he brings to the field on to the team. There's no way in a passing situation with a deep cross is Quez Watkins not in the football game. That's a coaching error and mistake. And I love our coaches, right? And I'm not coming at them, but Quez Watkins needs to be in this game for this particular play. All right, I'm going to show you what happens. All right, let's go here. At this point right now, you see these guys dropping in coverage. This guy's in coverage, this guy's in coverage, this guy's in coverage. All of their eyes are on the quarterback, right? Therefore, I know it's cover 3 defense, right? There's no flat defender here, but this guy is locked on. Like I said, it's unsound. Now, Zach Pascal has this guy in man position, has to beat this guy man to man. He has outside leverage, so there's no reason you can't beat him across the field because he has outside leverage. He loses this one-on-one. Right now, you can't see him, but this guy's closing in on him. This guy shows down, but he's still looking at the quarterback. He's going to back up and get into the play. These guys' eyes on the quarterback, right? Jalen Hurts is made up in his mind. He wants to be on this side of the field. Remember, I told you there's no flat defender. This guy here is the check down. If Jalen Hurts throws this ball to where it's supposed to go, seeing that this defense is unsound, he throws the ball to this check down. This guy's going to run for 25, 30 yards by just a negative 2-yard pass right here will get you 30 yards if you know where to look when you recognize the coverage. All right. This interception or this guy here does the same thing that Avonte Maddox did on his interception versus the Vikings. He latches on to this receiver like it's man-to-man coverage, but he's really in zone. Jalen Hurts' eyes is back. He comes back and he gets into the play. Boom. Right? At this point, all the bad stuff has happened. I love my guy. You guys know how much of I'm an A.J. Brown fan and how much I love to see this man play football because I love him. A.J. Brown, I love him. However, this is horseshit. All right. So, like the coaches would say, go make the tackle. He's looking at you. He's juking you right now. Look at him. He's jogging. I don't want to make the tackle. What is that?
Oh, man.
I love you, A.J. Brown. But the coach is telling you the same thing.
Yeah.
All right. You catch up to him. Tackle him. Then I fall down. It's like the Instagram dude that's Davis, the dude that's talking about the players. This is one of those clips that he can use right there with the Eagles won. But that play just really bothered me because on so many different levels, from the scheme wise and the coaching at that point in time, there's no way Quez Watkins is going to get covered on a deep cross because of his speed. And also you can set that guy up. And Zach Pascal ran the line rather than running the route to get open. It was an unsound defense in cover 3. I like it because you should switch up your cover 3 in different things. Let me get this off of there. And so Q, and I'll let you talk about it, right? And I'm not coming at anybody. I was just trying to show you guys that there's still a lot of development for Jalen Hurts. There's still a lot of development for our team and putting in the right personnel. Still a lot of development in so many areas. And AJ got to go make that play. Although I love him, he bought out. That's my man. I get an AJ Brown jersey, but that play right there was bad.
Yeah, man. No, that was spot on, man. Everything you said right there. I've never seen. Well, I know in that defense, if Mike's running the same defense we used to run with Jim Johnson, they're taught to carry the seams, but they're not taught to carry that all the way across. Yeah, that I don't know what that was. Yeah, you're right on that. 100%.
Yeah, that was Darius Williams, who is an intellectual football player. He always gets his hands on balls. The guy from the Rams I talked about before on this show, talked about how I love him because he always has a nose for the football. But he was wrong. He blew the assignment, or they locked him. Whatever they wanted to, they locked it. Say they locked it. We had an outlet. We didn't find it.
Yeah. Now, I gotta say, I got one more thing to add to that.
Okay.
And again, I'm a huge AJ Brown fan. I'm a huge fan. So please don't take this the wrong way. But I'm gonna just tell you, like when we played as players, how this would have broken down in the film room. Okay. First of all, he's got to make that tackle in the first play. I know the defense is pissed off at him right now because, like, man, come on, help us out a little bit. It was a bad play. You get them down there on the 40-yard line, you give us a chance to get the ball back for you guys, and y'all can go down and score. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
Second thing I'm gonna add to that as a coach, and I already know because I got my coaching hat on when I see this. If he makes that tackle right there, or if he makes the tackle when he dives for it, give me that Garrett Bowles dive swipe at. I don't know if you saw the Raiders and the Denver Broncos. At least give me some. Just kick his legs out, right? But so anyway, so long story short, the way a coach would have brought this down to us or broke this down to us, if he'd have made the tackle there or made the tackle in that second attempt, then maybe Mailata's not trying to make that tackle at the end of the play. Maybe he's not diving and, hitting his shoulder, getting hurt, getting off the field. And so not to say that it's AJ's fault, but as a coach, as a coaching point, they would have broken it down. Like if you had just made that play and hustled a little bit more there, the trickle down effect wouldn't have ended up to the point where now we have a guy that's our starting left tackle that is hurt. So sometimes, I'm not saying that he's a selfish player or anything like that. He's playing offense. We know you guys can't tackle very good.
Dude, don't be coming at us.
But a coach would have broken it down like, man, listen, if you help
right.
us right there, we still got our guy right here. So that's all I'm going to say on that. But AJ, I love you, man. Keep doing your thing. And,
but it's and I don't curse, but I had to say what the coaches said. It was horse. And that's what they would have said right there. So
all right, man. Let's move on.
Let's move on. And let me do this read and we'll go to segment 3, okay?
Okay.
No, let's one thing before we go to segment 3. We got 2 reads. Do you agree with the 4th down decision to go for it at the end of the game, Q? We were up by 8. We kick a field goal. We up by 11. He goes for it. We don't get it. Tough play. I'm not blaming anybody for not bringing that. He had the ball down. The guy kept going to the end. That's what you do as a defender. That play by the cornerback right there made every defensive player and every coach. That's coaching tape. Yes. Everybody's happy. You play through the whistle, son. Like you play, we on the ground, we roll around, you still try to get the ball out and something good gonna happen. Am I lying?
No, that's it. Right?
I'm not gonna blame him for that right there because that dude just kept playing football and I loved it. And that's a shame because I wanted AJ to catch the ball, but the football player in me was like, damn, that was a good play.
I mean, that's and even with the decision, it was like I was at first I was like, why? But then I'm like, first of all, we gotta understand this is Sirianni. He's aggressive. He knows that the guy across from him is aggressive. He's gonna go for it. He wanted to end the game there. I get that.
Yeah. And
then I started thinking about a little bit more after the game, like, well, Slay's out. You got two young guys. You got Josiah Scott out there. You got McPherson out there. You got your D line is balling, but it's a sloppy game. You got a pretty good quarterback on the other end. Anything can happen. So I'm okay with them being aggressive. You're up by 8. Chances are them getting a touchdown and a 2-point conversion at that point. As we saw, it was very slim. Yeah. It didn't happen. So I'm okay with the decision. I just at the time I'm like,
I wasn't okay with it because it's still, even like to make it a 2-score game in that situation, say something fluky happens and somebody get a deep touchdown, right? So rain games and snow games, fans.
Yeah.
And I don't know why coaches don't look at it like this, but they should. There's only 2 options in rain and snow. You run the football and you throw the football as far as you can. The dink and dunk stuff usually does not work for the most part. When it's a monsoon, it calmed down. There were ups and downs. We were able to get some catches and all that stuff, right? We were able to. But in a rainy game, you run the football, you throw the ball deep. You can get a pass interference, and the ball is it's an easier catch for a lot of those guys coming down. You got your basket up, right?
Yeah.
So I'm throwing the ball as far as I can, and/or I'm running the football when it's rain or snow. But anyhow, with that being said, something fluky happens, and now they score a touchdown. They go for 2, they get it. We up 11. They still got to kick an onside kick. They got to go through multiple processes. They got to get 4 things right. They got to score a touchdown. They have to get a 2-point conversion. They got to get an onside kick, and they got to move the ball again and make a field goal. Like, that's 4 things that you got to do rather than 2.
That's a good point.
You get what I mean? So therefore, I wouldn't have gone for it. I would just kick the field goal. But that's just me. All right, let's get to these reads, all right? So there's a few reads that we have to do today. This one is brought to you by Inside the Birds. We encourage everyone to become a subscriber to the Inside Birds Patreon channel at patreon.com/InsideTheBirds. Again, at patreon.com/InsideTheBirds. Subscribers to the Inside the Birds Patreon channel will get bonus exclusive podcasts each month from Adam Kaplan and Jeff Mosher, along with prizes, giveaways, and access to a private chat community with Adam and Jeff on Discord, and access to the Inside the Birds pregame show. I may throw myself in there. I'm single, ladies. I may up the package there. That sounded messed up, but I was just joking anyway. make it more appealing to everybody else.
Hey, shoot, do your thing.
Yeah, do your thing.
I ain't mad at you.
All right, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. There you go.
All right, so let's get to it.
So that's
crazy.
Right. No, one more read.
Oh, my bad.
Launch Trampoline Park, brought to you by yours, Jason Avant, in Deptford, New Jersey. Make sure you come out. We just installed a slam ball court. We have laser tag and rock climbing and an indoor playground for kids and laser tag. I said that. And an arcade, birthday parties. We have everything. Ninja Warrior, trampoline, dodgeball. We have everything. Make sure you come out to Launch Trampoline Park in Deptford, New Jersey. Q, it's on you for the second half of the show.
All right, shoot, let's go. Hey, listen, all right, so the Eagles defense, all right, the Eagles were +4 in the turnover ratio. They're +8 for the entire season.
Mm-hmm.
How big is that? How big of a factor is that?
It's the number one. It's the number one correlation between wins and losses. If you want to judge any stat that determines wins and losses, the most is going to be turnover ratio, not time of possession, not touchdowns, not running the football, not passing yards. Whoever wins the turnover battle, 99% of the time, they're going to win the football game. Most of the time, they're going to win a football game. So, and especially if your turnovers are in scoring position.
Yeah. So
if like the Jaguars were turning the ball over in our territory, which leads to easy points, automatic points. So if we can continue this at a high rate, where guys getting strip sacks and Bradbury, reading a play and getting an interception like that, right? Playmaking, like that was a good play that he made, a playmaking play.
Yeah.
Haason Reddick being Johnny on the spot with the drop fumble. Like, I'm like, dude, how did the defensive end get the drop snap? But they don't block him on the backside, so when they try to sneak it. So I was like, dude, how did he get there that fast? And he got it from the front. I was like, dude, this is crazy. But anyhow, we continue this along with the ability to pass it the way we can pass it, with the ability the way we can run it the way we can run it, and we get turned. Super Bowl. This way, Kelly foot. Jason. David Kelly right there. I mean, man, what? Who gonna stop us? Only one can stop us. Only we the only ones.
Oh, my man Kelly.
David Kelly right there. But when you really consider it, the only people that can, with these turnovers, with the way we're playing defense on the back end, and this is 2 weeks in a row where we got 2 guys holding the ball. And next week we got to break down some of these bracket and some of these carrying, passing off and carrying like these covers, like cover 4, they're doing some matching in cover 3. Like we need to break that down, because these quarterbacks are holding the ball because the concepts that they're throwing in are causing them to second guess, and they're holding the ball a little bit. And I saw it in Carson Wentz's eyes, because they ran a few coverages that they didn't run before, and it confused them. And the same way with Trevor Lawrence. I wish I should have got those prepped for us. Yeah.
Okay.
Next week, I'm thinking about you.
Oh my God.
I'm thinking about you next week. We may even revisit this game with that coverage next week.
I like it. Let's do it.
Yep.
All right. So the Jags were up. So first half, Jags were up 14-0. Trevor Lawrence, he missed a wide open throw to Agnew for a touchdown. That would have put them up. They would have put them up 21-0. A few plays later, he fumbled the ball. How different would this game have been if they completed that pass and ended up 21-0? How do you think this game would have went?
I think the Eagles would have still came back, because they would have realized they already had realized the formula.
Yeah.
And we were still going to be playing in the rain, which would probably the turnovers would have happened with a young quarterback like Trevor Lawrence. Yeah. And McPherson just didn't KYP, right? He didn't know his personnel. Agnew runs a 4-3, right? And he's been a punt returner, kick returner, little small college, made his way up by running fast. He's a 4-3 guy. You got to know that. Yeah. When you know speed and this is I know this because of the teams that we played. If G. Lou got in the game, hey, speed at 2. Like, you know what I mean? They would call it out. Like, you know what I mean? Like speed, like Avant, slow as hell at 2. But they would call out speed at 2 or speed at 1, and they would know how fast these guys are, so you can know how to play in certain situations. Like that's what I was talking about with Quiz in the slot. That defensive back is going to know that speed is at 2.
Yeah.
And I can't be sitting around trying to guess and worry and stuff like that. He's going to get out of there when he starts booking it down the field. You know what I mean? And Zach McPherson got to recognize who it was out there at number 1 when he was out there. But do I think the formula of the Eagles figured out the formula right around that time? So I think they'd have came back no matter what at home.
Okay.
But yeah, we had a few plays that could have, should have, would have too. So I can't say that too, because Jalen Hurts just dumps the ball off to the right. If AJ Brown gets behind the quarterback on his touchdown, it's a touchdown. He stays in front of the quarterback just by a yard on the one he threw it to the left, and they got called for the offensive pass interference.
Yeah. Yep.
That was a forward pass. If that pass is behind or lateral, it's a running play. Therefore, it don't matter if he's offensive pass interference or not, because it's just a toss, a wide toss. So he has to know I have to stay behind the quarterback. He was trying his best to, but he has to literally move himself behind the quarterback. So Jalen Hurts is throwing backward.
Gotcha. Okay.
And therefore they can run it in. That's the coaching point. It was just it wasn't executed properly. There is the run pass option, you guys, that you do quickly, right? You read for a second, then you throw immediately so the offensive line doesn't get downfield. That run pass option was the delayed version. The offensive line is already downfield. The receivers are already downfield run blocking because of how long the play is taken. So therefore, the receiver on the outside got to know, because this is delayed run pass option, I'm behind the quarterback so he can have an outlet. And it's a fumble if it hits the ground.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yep.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah.
All right, I don't know how I got into that, but I want to bring that back up.
Yeah. So, all right. So back to let's go back on the defensive side. Yeah, Haason, you kind of touched on it earlier. Are we liking what we're seeing from him as an edge rusher?
I believe. Let's see. Let me pull up my stats here so far. I want to say he has 3.5 sacks, Q, and two fumble recoveries.
It feels like way more than that.
Huh? I'm talking about the season.
It feels like he got more than that.
No, I think he has, but 3.5 is really 4 sacks. You know, it's just some dude came in there and touched him with his arm the same time you touched him, and you don't get credit for the sack. That's irritating. I've been seeing dudes do it too. Like I saw the dude do it for Jaguars when we kneel. He went in there to touch the quarterback so he can get credit for the tackle.
Hey, like, money on the line, man.
What are you doing? The dude, the old line was like pushed him back, but he definitely in there trying to touch Jalen as he was kneeling. Like, dude, I want that tackle. Stat stuffer.
Trying to get that bonus, man.
Man, it was crazy. I was like, hey, did he just do that? Like, what is wrong with people? You have no manners, no home training. But can you? I was trying to look it up. What does he have really fast?
Let's see.
Yes, 3.5.
Okay.
Yes, 3.5 too. So he has 3.5 sacks. They played 4 games. So basically, you got a sack a game, pretty much. 3.5 is 4 sacks, pretty much. How can you not like that?
Yeah.
And did he even get a sack last week when they were in the sack bonanza? I don't know if he got a sack last week.
I don't think he did.
No, his stuff came earlier than that. He got 2 this one, and he had a 1.5 before then, before the 2 games prior to last week. But he wasn't a part of the sack bonanza last week. It was everybody else but him.
They had him dropping. They had him dropping in the cover.
Yeah, that's some bull. When it's 9 sacks going on and you ain't getting it. I know how that feels. Nick Foles threw for 7 touchdowns, and I wasn't near none of them one time. I was like, oh God. I'm gonna get cut. Let's skip down. Let's skip down to the Eagles defense, man. The last one, the Eagles defense versus Jacksonville. The questions.
Oh yeah, let's get into the questions. All right, so
yeah.
All right, this one's good for both. This is from Chad Harris.
Well, let me read it then. I'm gonna get it to you.
All right.
Oh, go ahead.
We can both.
Oh, go ahead. We can both answer. Go ahead. My bad.
Yeah. So the question from Chad Harris says, why do you think the Ravens are reluctant to pay Lamar? And as former players, could you guys describe how it feels when you've outperformed your contract and your team doesn't want to pay you when it's time to re-up?
It's some BS. That's what it is. It's the only thing you can say about it. They cut you when you underperform. And they never want to pay you when you overperform. I'm saying it loud for the dude in the back. Yeah, Jason, you're right. Yeah, I'm right. That's what happens every single time, and it's frustrating. And it's frustrating that Lamar has to go out, worry about his health, go out, still perform, put on this facade like he's not mad when he really is frustrated because they don't recognize how value is. They don't have a defense. They don't have an offense without this dude accounting for 90% of their offense. You get that right. It was a stat that was put on SportsCenter the other day that Lamar Jackson has 87% of their offense is because of him. 87%. Right?
Wow.
The most of any quarterback in the league, more than
That's
Josh
crazy.
Allen, more than Patrick Mahomes, more than Jalen Hurts. And you know how much offense Jalen Hurts produces. 87%, the most in the National Football League. They have a fighting chance every week with the last place defense in the NFL when it comes to passing. They got two corners that can't run.
Yeah.
In the AFC division where all the receivers can run. You know, and the only person that's in this game every single week is Lamar Jackson. Pay that man and stop disrespecting him. And I hope that he makes it through the season healthy in the playoffs with a great run in the playoffs and tell him, listen, I don't want to talk to you unless you're talking about 350 million guaranteed.
That's real.
I wouldn't even discuss anything with you. I don't know you. I want it. What Patrick Mahomes wanted. Right? Or the last one that got paid.
This is all I'm gonna tell you. Russell Wilson.
Last one that got paid.
Russell Wilson, 5 years, $245 million.
I wanted what Russell got. Now I want what Messi getting. I want what Alex and Messi getting.
I'm talking soccer numbers, man.
Yeah,
I like it.
That's what I want now. But yeah, you go ahead and answer that because I gotta say my piece about it.
No, I'm with you. I got nothing to add to that, man. I honestly, I don't understand because I don't know what the Ravens are thinking here because, like you said, if he makes it through the season healthy and they make a run, that number is only going to go up. So
yeah.
I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And the other part too, the only thing that I can think of as the reasoning why they don't want to pay him is maybe
Playoffs.
I don't know. Honestly, I have some suspicions. I don't want to get onto that right now, but I think the biggest thing is maybe they just think that he's an injury risk, but every quarterback is. I pay that man his money. I'm with you. Pay that man his money.
Yeah, the only thing they can say is that he hadn't shown it in the playoffs. It takes some teamwork to show it in the playoffs too.
It's a whole different ball game.
It's not just Lamar Jackson, y'all. Right? The defense got to make a play or two. Ask Josh Allen that. Josh Allen played a magnificent football game. You can't play a better football game than what Josh Allen played last year against the Chiefs in the playoffs. You cannot play one better than that. Mahomes didn't play better than Josh Allen in that game. The Chiefs defense got to stop.
Yep.
Or two. Your defense or neither defense got to stop. Your defense is two safety Pro Bowlers, a cornerback that's a Pro Bowler, defensive linemen that were Pro Bowler. They didn't get a stop. You need a defense to get a stop sometimes. You need somebody else to help. That's my point. Right? So, yeah, I know it's disappointing when they were number one seed and they had a really good roster and they lost in the first round or whatever it was, second round, whatever it was. Disappointing. Didn't throw the ball well. Hopefully he dispels that. That's the only thing that anybody can say is that he hadn't showed up in the playoffs. And he has shown up in the playoffs, just hadn't been at the level that everybody else wants. It takes some learning, but hopefully he shows up in the playoffs. But after that, pay that man his money. Who else you gonna get?
Yeah.
Your whole offense is designed around him. I know you guys don't know who Blueface is or the rapper and all that stuff, but he has a girlfriend. His girlfriend has a tattoo of him on his neck and they broke up. Like, who else wants you? You got a tattoo of a dude's man, of your former boyfriend on your neck. That's his face right here. Like, who else wants you? The whole organization is Lamar Jackson. You made everything about him. The whole offense, the whole organization is about Lamar Jackson. Like, pay the man. Yep. You don't got you don't have any other options. You got to revamp the entire organization or pay him. What are you doing?
And the price is only going up.
Only going up.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it makes no sense. All right. All right, you got the last one.
All right. All right. So this is Jay, as a guy with an offensive background.
Oh, that was hold on, wait, Q. Chad Harris was the last question. And this is Andrew Bauer. We just want to make sure we make sure we get the people there. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going. Okay.
No, my bad.
So yeah, my bad. And yeah, from Andrew. All right. So this is we'll do yours first, and then we'll do the other one. So this is from Andrew Bauer. My bad. Jay, as a guy with an offensive background, how would you attack the Eagles defense? What weaknesses would you try to exploit?
And I'm gonna read that one to you reverse too. But as the offensive guy, how would I try to attack that Eagles defense? That's a pretty heavy question, and I wasn't prepared for that question. But let's see what we can do to the Eagles defense. All right, so I'm going to attack the edges against the Eagles defense, right? The reason I say I'm going to attack the edges, and what I mean, I'm talking about the pass game. They play, especially on first and second down. I'm throwing the ball heavy on first and second down because I want to throw the ball when Jordan Davis is in the game, right? When Jordan Davis is in the game and use this on first and second down, the Eagles are in a 5-man front, right? And when they're in a 5-man front, they have one linebacker in the game. They have a nickel in the game, right? What that means is that if I'm in nickel and or that running back has to be matched up with someone, or my third receiver or my tight end is going to be matched up with somebody that has a mismatch. I'm going to scheme up something where one of those edge rushers / outside linebackers are one-on-one with the player. I'll scheme that up in whatever way I can. If it's in the 3-by-1, and then I got the running back to that side going out and the edge guys there, I'm going to create a concept where I'm going to eat that man alive. And I'm going to do it on first and second down as much as I can. I'm going to do a wheel route. I'm going to do a Texas route. I'm going to do a flat route. I'm going to do a flat stop back to the flat route. I'm going to eat that guy's lunch the entire game. That's what I would be trying to exploit. The other thing that I'll try to exploit is I'm not messing with Darius Slay. I'm not messing with Bradbury, but I will mess with Avonte Maddox, because Avonte Maddox is a good player, but he hadn't had a high volume of guys just throwing the ball at him. I want to see what that's like from an offense coordinator standpoint. Those are some ways I would try to attack the defense. Okay. Now let's ask that question in reverse. If you were, the defensive coordinator, how are you stopping the Eagles offense?
Oh, that's a tough one. So when I look at this team on offense, I'm gonna go into the game plan with the mindset of making three people's job very difficult. And the three people that if I'm a defense coordinator, I'm going to make their day rough. It starts with Jason Kelce. Then it goes to Jalen Hurts.
5-man front.
And then it goes to AJ Brown. Yep. I'm going 5-man front. I want somebody in front of Kelce all day. I don't want him getting out, pulling. I don't want him getting on our edge, our perimeter. I want his day to be a rough day. And then, shutting down the run is very important. So that means you got to deal with the zone read. I'm going to force the pull every single time. I'm going to have my defensive ends crashing down every single time. And I'm going to have my linebackers or if I have to put a nickel in, chasing Hurts down every play. And I probably shouldn't say this,
but Bowles, because that's what Todd Bowles did. He crashed his ends and had Devin White hawk him down the entire game.
Yep. Yeah. And I probably shouldn't say this, but I would have my whoever's hawking him down, they're going to hit him every single play.
No, you tell them like to make it hurt.
Yeah, every play.
Get your money's worth.
Make their days rough, and then I got to slow AJ down and that means getting somebody in his face. And obviously he's a aggressive down the field. He's a very strong player, but I think he's more dangerous when he gets the ball in his hands and he can run after the catch. I'll take my chances down the field. So I'm gonna try to get somebody in his face, pressing him. Hopefully I can get some help over the top. But if I take care of those three guys,
well, you can't get help over the top with what you asked.
I know with the alpha, I'm creating my own.
Yeah, I'm like, you about to put a 12 person in the game.
Hey man, you got to play 12 to stop this team.
Yes,
but I'm gonna take my chances with the ball over the top. I'd rather take a 50-50 ball down the field with a quarterback that's been getting hit all day than a quick screen where it's an easy throw for him and he's breaking like 3 or 4 tackles. Now I got these athletic linemen just pummeling my secondary and getting down the field. So I'm gonna take my chances with some balls down the field with AJ.
Yeah, that's all that's going to be tough either way, because this team is tough. When we're thinking about it, it's like, dude, if we do this, we leave one-on-ones on the outside. You got Devontae Smith and you get AJ. If you play
that's
back,
why they 4-0 right now. That's why they 4-0 right now.
It's so hard. It's hard. And even what I'm saying, like, you know how hard it is to get a matchup like that every single time? It's very, very hard because the pass rush is still coming. It takes time to get out there. It's very, very hard. And I'm like nitpicking. I'm trying to find an area. I believe that's the only area on defense that you clearly have a matchup, because if they put Gardner Johnson on the tight end, he should win that matchup.
Yeah.
Bradbury should win his matchup.
Yeah.
Slay should win his matchup. Avonte Maddox is going to 60-70% of the time win his matchup. Right. And he's one of the better ones. It ain't like he's a weak link or anything. That's how I would try my chances with him over Slade, Bradbury, and Gardner Johnson. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that it's easy. You get what I mean? So this team is a tough matchup all the way around.
Yeah.
It just is. Usually you can go to 1 or 2 things like, I can run a football. Oh, their corners can't cover. Oh, the safety. Like, no. No. It ain't many weaknesses.
Yeah.
Everybody, that's the Q&A show. We've been on here way too long. We got to get this one over. Q was tired. I was tired. We get on here, start talking about football. We have an exciting time. Make sure that you follow us at Inside the Birds or send us questions to insidethebirds@gmail.com. Check out this podcast airing tomorrow. Inside the Birds YouTube channel from Jason Avant, Quintin Mikell, Tyler Strasser, Jeff Mosher, Adam Kaplan, Josh, everyone that's responsible for Inside the Birds. Thank you guys for allowing this show, and peace. See you guys next week. Q, you got the last words.
See everybody next week, man. It's been awesome. I'm gonna be excited. I'm gonna be in the stands for this next game. So I'm gonna be down in Arizona. So I'm excited to go see it, man. So
let's go.
See y'all. We'll see y'all next week.
See you.